for Eric and other people to show. I'll go over what I went over yesterday, and that is After Hours versus Anything Goes. After Hours will be for current events in independent news, and then when we're done, we want to go on to lighter things. We'll go to stop the stream and start talking about uh, anything we want in the Anything Goes segment. Hey, someone. Man, someone is always the first one in all the time. Um, I don't know how someone does it. But, hey, Broken Carpenter, that was fast. Hey, Roseanne. Hey, Jeremy. Yeah, I just wait for him to be done, and then we start After Hours.
Right on.
It's no wonder you have a T1 lane. Holy smokes. I wish I had that. Nate Jerem, welcome. Hello. There is a lot to talk about all the time, I guess.
Hey, am I on?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay.
Hi,
Good
Eric.
evening.
How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you? Aeolus?
Doing pretty good.
I needed
Okay,
to find
Kevin
the right
says.
screen.
All right. Hi, 2071 Pam. All right.
They're live.
Yep. So Eric, I'm giving you the host controls.
Thank you.
If there's a lot of sound, just remember to mute. I'll be back in a bit. All right. Oh, oops.
You've got the con number one.
Yeah. Oops, I accidentally muted you, Eric. Not me. Host.
That's okay.
There you go. There you are. All
Thank
right,
you.
everyone. I'll
Hey,
be back.
have fun. Yeah, go be with your baby and everything, bro. We'll keep her cool.
What are you doing?
Yeah, we'll keep it
What are you
real,
doing
keep
here?
it cool.
Come on, get out of here.
And we
There we
have
go.
more Friday. Return.
The triggering.
Oh man.
We're all.
I'll tell you what.
I get the feeling like that's going to be the subtitle to this entire podcast. After Hours with Eric. Hashtag the triggering.
Just gotta keep it fun and keep it real.
That is fine.
Oh, I love this place. I think this is a group. See, I sit here. I got it on my. Let me see if I can do this. No, wait a second. I got to do it this way. Switch camera. So if you look, can you see it, or do I got to turn it down? Y'all are on my big screen, and then I got you on the pad too. So we get like 3 views per every time I'm on.
Nice.
Cool. Build up the views.
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
How you doing tonight?
I am doing very well. I am currently on the warpath to completing my reading overview of chapter 1 and 2 of the Conquest of Bread for the Gales of Revolution channel.
Right on.
Yes.
Cool. What's your what's your channel so I can subscribe to you?
Oh, yes. I put it in the YouTube chat, but I'll put it into the this YouTube chat so that everyone can see it. Or I could just say hi.
Cool. Or even
Okay.
tweet it to me.
Yeah. You'll be the person saying hi in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm signing on the chat right now.
Yeah, it should be on the live chat. It'll be the person saying hi in the chat.
Hi, Ariel.
Hey, Carpenter.
Yeah, I'm signing on the chat.
Start talking, Ariel. I want to hear your voice for a few minutes. Just talk about anything.
It'll be the person saying hi in the chat.
Yes, we would love to hear.
Any topic you choose, just please talk for a few moments. Ariel, I want to hear your voice for a few minutes. Just talk about anything.
What do you need?
Not mine again.
Who is it?
Any
Hold
topic.
on.
I laid
My
my
God, there's
origin story on everyone tonight. I hope it wasn't too
Chad. Stop saying hi. It's making it difficult.
Ah, I like your Bernie shirt there, Carpenter. That's a good one.
Yeah, this is my Friday night. I decided that. See, that's the sort of the cool thing about Bernie, man. Is I don't feel ashamed wearing a Bernie shirt after the election.
Not at all.
Win, lose, or draw, I knew I could buy I own like 3 of them or 4 of them
Yeah.
that I bought over the course of the whole thing, because I figured, hell, I don't have to worry, man. I can wear a Bernie shirt no matter what. Unless a dude drops an atom bomb somewhere, he's way better than what he's running against.
I'm wearing my No Sellouts t-shirt today.
I love it. It's
No
great.
sellout. Yes.
I have
can't wait
And it's good because it's a good thing none of us are sellouts, because otherwise that'd be really awkward.
We're trying not to be. I don't want to be an accidental sellout. I've got accidental gardening going on now. So, I do a lot of composting. And sometimes if I don't have time to put it in a proper compost or dig a hole or whatever, I'll just take a plate of whatever trimmings from the kitchen, and I'll just toss it outside in this particular spot. And it just disintegrates and goes back into the ground. Well, I noticed there was this big vine type plant growing up out of the area where I've been throwing that stuff for over a year. And I've got it narrowed down. At first I thought it would be a red bell pepper plant. It could be a cucumber, but I think it's actually a watermelon. It's got really big green leaves. It's got this big golden blossom on it, about 5 petals. And I can't wait to see what happens. It could be the great pumpkin. We don't know, but I'm doing some accidental gardening. I've got vegetables or fruits growing without even trying.
Oh, wow. Cool.
It's not even Halloween, Charlie Brown.
I know.
That's an interesting way to farm. You just get 18 bags of seeds and dump them in a jar, shake them up, and then start throwing them over your shoulder on the dirt, water them in.
All around the bottom of my bird feeder, there's sunflower, giant sunflowers, and milo and wheat and all kinds of things growing up around where the birds eat, because enough of those seeds fall on the ground and they don't get eaten and they take root. So
you get that little rye looking stuff that grows from them little round ones. Yeah,
millet and all these different things growing. It's awesome. I love it.
I just put up a hummingbird feeder the other day, and I got to make up some colored water, because it came in like a clear, but I think you need like a colored water to attract them a little better. But I was looking. I get them buzzing by all the time. I just want to get them feeding now. I had them last year. I had a what are those things? Fuchsia.
Mm-hmm.
I got a fuchsia and actually made it. Had it survive. I mean, I kept it alive, and that thing was great. It was drawing them in, and it was hanging right on my back porch. So I had these hummingbirds right outside my door. If I walked out real quietly, I could sit and watch. My wife's got one outside it's outside the library, and her upstairs, outside the window there's a bird feeder, and it between what it does is it feeds the birds in the winter and gives the cat a little extra protein every once in a while.
Yes.
I mean, by accident, of course, but
How's it going, everyone?
Evening.
Hello there.
Seems like it's been so long since I've talked to you guys.
Where's
Check 1 2.
Yes, we hear you. Christy.
Christy?
Hi there.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just trying to figure this out.
Okay.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome.
Oh,
So where are you? Where are you from?
From California. I've got
Oh.
like your conversation is like old and new.
you gotta pause the YouTube page.
Pause the YouTube page. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can,
that'll do it.
yeah. I learned
Oh, awesome. That made it so much easier.
much.
Yes. Well, hi.
Hello.
Hi. So you're down in
Hello.
California.
No, I'm from California, but I live in San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
We just generally try to figure out where everybody is because
All
we
over the
cover a pretty
country.
wide. We cover a pretty wide swath of the United States here.
Well, I hope so.
That's a good bunch of people on here, for sure.
Okay. Now I can kind of see you guys.
Uh,
Now I'm like, damn it.
is anybody? I mean, I haven't heard everything you guys have been talking about. I'm really kind of pissed off, really, at the way Nico and Tim has been kind of demonizing the whole situation, or I don't know. It's just on my mind.
Humanizing what?
Well, I wanted people are obviously upset for certain things not being brought up, and the conversation that he was having on his show, but he basically was talking about that the reason why Nina and Bernie doesn't talk about the cheating or the DNC lawsuit is because of they'll never get a job again, they'll never be on mainstream media again, all this kind of stuff, and it's like talking down for wanting Tim or Nico House to bring up these specific issues. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like the cheating is, and it's not about Bernie per se. Bernie is just the example to be able to pull it into real time to talk about, obviously our democracy is lost because we all know with the primaries. I don't know. I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding how if he says he's the independent media, he says that he's the one talking truth to power, but then when people get pissed that he didn't bring up Hillary cheated, why he didn't bring that up with
Chad,
Nina Turner.
Chad,
What?
everyone knows. Everyone knows what went down.
Right? No, you're right. That's what I'm saying. I agree, but
Getting
that's
up in people's face about it is an instant way to get them to either back off of you or not continue to talk.
I get what you're saying. No, you're right. You're right.
I don't want to hear about Tim demonizing me. He does not do that. He
Well,
really does.
Well, but think about that. You're telling me.
And that's a really strong word to use. Not
Well, what are you talking about? Did you?
You're not going to get a good response by saying that.
Well, you're not going to get a good
A lot of
response
us respect
when you kiss Bernie's ass, you kiss Nina Turner's ass when they should be talking about the issues. What's the main issue? What's the
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
What's the main issue?
Chad, here's the thing. I can feel you. I understand where you're coming from, but part of my issue that I've had with the left is, or at least with some of the progressive movement, is this. Is what I feel is starting to become an over-reliance on our figureheads in order to be the ones to forward our agenda to the general public. While I do think that people like Bernie, Nina Turner, and many others have an important role in promoting the policies that for which the movement as it in general wishes to achieve. I do not agree with this. I do not like this idea that they need to be there for every single one of our battles, and more importantly, that they need to be the one to spearhead the fights for what many may or may not end up perceiving as our petty grievances with the system. And believe me, I don't think that the DNC lawsuit is by any means petty.
It's not
rich. But here's the thing. But you have to understand that within the system that we live under, there are certain constraints the people who we might find allies with have to abide by, and not everybody has the freedom and luxury, especially those of us on the lower end of the totem pole.
Right.
Not just in terms of economic capital, but also in terms of political capital.
Right.
Bernie Sanders, at least within the cloud of people that he has to deal with on a regular basis, he does not have that much political clout. He has a lot of political clout with people, but
isn't that the most important thing though?
If it were, we would have had gun control legislation done years ago.
No.
The problem is less the fact.
But okay, that's the whole point. Is it doesn't make sense because it's a cognitive dissonance. Politicians are supposed to be the ones that represent the people, right?
Right.
So the people are speaking, saying, "This is what we want. This is what we want to talk about." And when I say the DNC lawsuit, it's not about the lawsuit. The lawsuit is the example to show how we've been cheated. It's the proof in order to have the conversation, vehicle to have the conversation about it. So for me,
but the people we're talking to are not in a position where they're ready to, are clearly not in a position where they're even willing to consider the possibility that they cheated, much less how that cheating occurred.
Okay, right, exactly. I agree with that. So, but what
they have to win the lawsuit first.
I'm a very
obviously Bernie agrees, but he's going to come off like sour grapes if they don't win the lawsuit first.
That's exactly it.
Well, I don't think
that's the voting.
But that's not.
It's the principle. They are going to use that against him. They want him gone. They want him gone even more than they want Trump gone.
Just listen,
Carmen. Let's let him explain.
See, I look at it as in it's people are the one that put the politician in power. That's the whole power structure. When you say when the people are demanding, that's when to me, Tim has got more power. Tim has got the platform. And when people are saying, okay, this is what we want leaders. We want somebody that's going to talk about this in the face of the people. And that's the way he framed it was saying almost like, was almost as if it was wrong for us to expect the politicians to talk about the real issues. We all know the power structure. We all know that's
Bernie is in a weird position where if he we are the people power, but each state has control of the media, and they will destroy him just like they did in the primaries if we're not strategic about it.
How can the media destroy Bernie Sanders?
It's easy. They're doing Trump right now.
If Bernie Sanders, well, but think about it. Bernie Sanders has the people.
Tim's journalistic practice is very highly praiseworthy. His ability and consistency in talking about real issues is off the charts, and I'm really
right. When he's talking to the people, absolutely. But the point is what people want, and I think the key is that's what they wanted Bernie to do. They wanted him to stand up, and I'll only use Bernie as the example because he is the most recent example. He's the most popular.
Fine, whatever you want to theorize about Bernie or the people, but
it's not strategic. If they don't win the lawsuit, they're going to write Bernie off.
You're going to try to say that Tim Black is not a good enough journalist or not doing a good enough job.
No, I didn't say what he's reporting. What he's saying. I'm saying what people were upset about is that he did not ask about those specific things, and that's what people want to hear.
Chad.
Criticizing Tim.
Wait a second.
I'd like to come in here.
Wait a second. Give me a second. Give me a second here to just let me.
No.
Let me talk for a second. Here's what I think's happening. you're wanting like everybody to be exactly on point on, like, let's put it this way. When he went up to Nina, like when he interviewed Nina, the important thing to us in the short term is whether Nina is gonna jump into the governor race in Ohio.
Right.
And the idea of getting the word out that she's running against, the clown from the afternoon TV, that they're seriously thinking about putting him in, that's important for Nina to get out too.
Right.
And so, I mean, but she didn't have to broach that subject. Okay. So, I mean, when you're asking Tim to hit everybody up about the DNC lawsuit or this question or that,
it's not the DNC lawsuit.
Chad,
Oh,
he goes in and he asks the questions that are relevant, and you're asking him to scorch bridges that he's barely built. I mean, I think when you're talking about this, you're talking about a guy that really has to hustle to get an interview. It's not like these other cats that they got 87 people to take care of scheduling stuff. So I think the fact that he gets, you got to let him, give him these half-hour interviews. Go listen to the Turner interview. I mean, he asked plenty of tough questions, but in a short-term interview, he's got to ask questions that are relevant
within the scope that's comfortable.
When you ask Nina or Bernie or Susan Sarandon or anybody to really speak about the DNC lawsuit, anybody that was out in front of that campaign shouldn't be out in front. It'll be like Hillary Clinton blaming something for her losing. And you got to let the legal us, the masses push that kind of message, because if people get up and they stand up in the forefront and start talking about that,
I agree.
What happens is if people start talking about it in the forefront, like, if Bernie starts talking about an interview, it'll be on the news. And it won't be in a flattering light, And so it's better for him to kind of hold it off and just wait and see how things go. And he doesn't have to be involved. That's the general idea of it. It wasn't Bernie that got cheated.
Well,
it was us that got cheated.
Right. I mean,
So
I understand
why the lawsuit. So, I mean, getting Elizabeth back, getting them on TV, getting the bigger, when you're talking about a larger platform that has the power to be able to punch a big question like that in a long interview, that's different. But when you got a short time interview kind of deal, that you can see how that affects it. So that's what I'm saying, man. Tim does a great job. Yeah, and I think you're nobody's going to live up to everybody's standards.
I don't know. I guess I just look at as a leader. When you say, okay, well, if the people are telling you this is what we want to talk about, and those questions, and you say that the people have to bring those up, right? The people have to demand that to be talked about, to come from the ground up. But people look at Tim Black, people look at all these certain people as their voice. So when they're upset because they're like, they don't understand why the pressure with the people with the platform, they're the ones that are supposed to be doing it. And that's why the lower put the pressure on the people with the platform, the people that are in power, and you keep putting pressure on the people as it goes up. And my point with Bernie is because he's the most popular politician, because now even some of the right, I mean, a lot of people respect him, is that if the people don't, and the people are putting pressure, but it's like people are very like, they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to they feel like it loses power for their side. It's like Christians don't want to call out the bad things about Christianity, or cops, law enforcement don't want to call out the bad part about the law enforcement. They would rather play it safe in order not to ruffle feathers. But the whole point is the progressive movement is they're the ones that are supposed to say, we're going to talk about this. We're going to demand that we talk about this. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. We're trying to put people in power that will really actually say truth to power.
You really want people to get on your side about this issue. You care about making points about this leader thing. I think first of all, should be like thousands of leaders. We can't have a leader.
Right, absolutely.
But also, dude. I mean, you're trying to get us to want to hold Tim to extreme standards and criticize him for not being critical enough and get on the same level as you are about it, and it's not going to happen. I mean, you raised your issue. You called into Tim's show. You've talked about it a lot of times.
All night. Did you watch the People's Summit? Did you watch what Bernie said? He said this wasn't about Trump winning. It was about the Democrats losing. How much more indemnifying do you want to get?
Hillary cheated me.
I think it's an extremely flawed.
The DNC
I'm
cheated.
talking.
You asked me a question.
I'm talking here.
You asked a question.
You love to hear yourself talk, and you're really irritating the crap out of me. I will be straight up honest with you.
Oh, well, you can be honest with me. So
stop bothering people with this issue. Say your piece, and then let us talk. You're new in here, and you come in here act like you're calling the shots on everyone. This is not the tone that we've had in here before, and you're creating a lot of stress and tension. You need to calm down. We're willing to hear you out, but you need to calm down because you come off really hyper and really a little bit wired up, and it's not cool. And I love being in here, but I'm about to take off because I don't want to hear it anymore. And to say that Christians don't call out their own shit is a very broad perspective, because I know plenty of Christians that are willing to look at the corruption in the church. That is a bunch of crap, just as there are people that won't. Okay, so I don't want to hear it anymore. I've got a song I want to sing for everyone because they want me to, but after that I'm out because you can.
No, don't go.
Can anybody hear me?
Take over.
I was like, it makes me
want to be heard.
It makes me really want to leave too, unfortunately.
Bernie Sanders is a 75-year-old man. I'm sorry, but you don't have the years or the experience. You've never run for office that I know of. So don't beat the crap out of someone.
If you have a fucking attitude, I will fucking cast you off.
Wait. Hello?
I'm sorry that I went a little too far, but if you're going to go too far to the extreme, I will have to boot you off, and I'm sorry to do that. Ariel is right. Yeah, I am talking to you. I am really talking to you. You really do have to tone it down.
Hello?
If you tone it down, you'll have to leave.
Okay, can anybody hear me right now?
Yes.
I apologize for that.
That's okay. It's okay, Eric. That's all right. It's your gig. You're the big.
I'm fine.
You're the moderator.
Mike Figueredo and Tim Black.
Yes, I am the moderator.
Job,
I don't know if I'm being heard.
It's a really hard job. So just to tell them how they can do it from when you're nobody. That's. They gotta walk a line. They gotta apologize for things. They can't just all rail against the machine, rage against the machine, and fire and brimstone, bring it all down. I loathe people like that. They're just all about anarchy and it's just got to be it's all gonna it's not. That's a one pitch, one track, narrow horse blinders way of looking at everything, and it's just I'm not into the chaos theory thing of it all. It's just and Tim, there's always a history of people anywhere that want to be anything, they have to toe some kind of line somewhere. There's a professionality about it. Really just hating on Tim because he's a class act and because he's agreeable enough with everybody, Broken Carpenter said, it's burnt or to establish these bridges and to I don't know. He's I don't know. Tim has a hard job. He works hard, and so it's we could meet you on some kind of ground, but it seems like what you're trying to get us to go to is unrealistic completely. So it's don't you see that? Don't you see? I know, I get that you're passionate about the one thing, but taking issue and continuing.
I understand. I understand and even my bone to pick is not even to. It's not to ever tear down. To ever tear down Tim. That's not even my whole point. My I guess my view is that when
I think people ought to hold people to higher standards. You think we ought?
I mean, to his standard,
different than the pushover and sellout and whatever everything else.
To his standard.
I get it.
I mean that to I look at it as the core foundational issue is what is the problem with everything? It's the policies. It's the corruption. It is the house of cards that it's this one. If we take down, I'm not anything about anarchy. I'm not. My whole thing is just to be able to call out people for not standing up when in the moment that needs to be stand up for, and that's a harsh thing to say. That's an intense thing to say, and my frustration, people's frustration, is based on that logic. Okay, well, this is it seems to be right, and I get it. I get it. Your approach is a little bit more laid back, a little bit more okay, and you would rather not ruffle feathers. You would rather not go and call people out to their face.
Not the case, dude.
Don't assume what everyone is like.
Well, but you told me about. I never said anything about certain Christians not being able to call out Christians. Absolutely. I'm going to use that because
you speak in very, very broad black and white terms.
I think in the macro.
But I mean,
I step back in a macro thing.
Even the chat even wants you out.
All right.
No,
can I
want him out, but
can I make a
want
point?
him to hear what other views and what other people have to say.
Oh, yeah, wow. But people need to be calm about this. I understand people are frustrated, but people need to talk more calmly.
I'm not even yelling at you guys I'm frustrated because I'm trying to express the way that I see it, because I pay attention a lot more. You guys don't know me, obviously. I haven't built a relationship, a rapport with you guys. You don't know what.
But you could try.
That's weird. I'm a very passionate. I'm very loud. I'm very
It's okay.
All right.
Loud, but
I'm not here. I'm trying to have a conversation.
But you're not having a conversation. This is
you're talking over everybody. No, you're listening to everybody.
You're shutting down the conversation because
no.
When I say
conversation is like two people talking or two different directions, and you're not doing that.
How about this? Since we're kind of hitting a stalemate, how about we try and pass the ball to another subject? Because I do think that obviously there isn't. While this, I think, has a lot of interesting points as a point of philosophical conversation and as a matter of tactics. There are other things that are going on in the world that do need us to be addressed. And Ben, well, I'll get to your talk about anarchy later, but
no, well done though. There, a good call. I agree.
Nice.
But to Chad, I appreciate. Regardless.
That's right. There's interesting points there, but it's like. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Regardless of your how this conversation is brought up, we do. I think I can at least speak for myself and appreciate where you come from. And if you'd like to continue this chat at a later point, I'll be free to chat with you on a one-to-one basis, and maybe we can hash things out.
Okay.
Let me just jump in here and tell a story. I'm going to tell you a story about goats.
Story time.
This is a real fact about goats. You can't use a shepherd dog on goats because goats don't run. They'll run, but after a few, they'll turn and they fight. and so you got to find like a breed of dog, like a Great Pyrenees or a Newfoundland, and you raise them with your goats,
Right.
and they grow, and they become one of the goats. And rather than trying to nip at the goats, they sort of just go around and they protect the goats. And what happens is that if a coyote comes or something, he's still a dog, and he acts like a dog, but he thinks he's a goat, and so it works. It works because you're in the goat herd and you're traveling with the goat herd.
Right.
But if you try to shepherd the goat herd, if you try to fight the goat herd turns around and fights. That's just sort of a true story about how you raise goats, and also about goats in general. But you get it.
I understand that. I understand that. And my I'm good cop, bad cop kind of guy. My has been more of the, take things head on, and I'm not. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Right on.
And I appreciate that. And my again, like I said, I'm
We
here.
gotta find out if Uli's got audio.
Uli,
Hey, can you hear me?
Mike.
I have a weird feedback here. I'm not sure if you can all hear me.
Yes, we can. I just wanted to make sure. All right.
Hey, Redneck is on.
I keep on hearing people in the background. I think Christian may have had a problem. No.
Yeah,
Sorry about that, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Yes.
Stevie's on. Say hi to Stevie, everybody.
Hi, Stevie.
Hi, Stevie.
Hey. Can I just really quick? I just want to say that I think we're all on the same page. I think we're just okay. We all agree about what the DNC is wrong. What they did was wrong. We want to see them pay the consequences for what they did, right? And I think things are just a little heated right now. But I just wanted to say that I want to make sure that everybody gets heard, and if we have to, just come back to it. But yeah, I don't want anybody to feel like they can't talk here or they're not being heard, because we all want to get to the bottom of this, right? We all want to make sure that we do the right thing. So yeah, I guess that's it.
I agree.
Love you, Stevie.
Thank you, Steve. Greatly appreciated.
Hey, Snork, what's happening in the world of science tonight?
Space.
Can't hear you, Snork.
Hey, you're muted, Snork.
Snork, your mic.
I've been on the road since 9 o'clock this morning. I just got back. I haven't read anything.
I'll check NASA, see if anything interesting or cool has happened.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much to spark Snork into a discussion of some length on a great science topic. So I mean, that's always cool. That's a groove.
Huh.
So Uli, what part of Pennsylvania are you in?
I'm in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. Because you sound like you could be from back in my neck of the woods. You have a Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania Dutch accent.
Well, I'm actually German.
Ah, okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, I've been living here 27 years. 27
Okay.
Oh wow.
That's why, because Pennsylvania Dutch are just all Germans.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say something to Dad, really, and I understand the frustration. I think we all feel the frustration where we want things done. We want to see things move along. but I think we're talking a lot more than ruffling feathers here. And it's easy for us to sit here anonymously and talk in our own homes. But when you're out there and you put yourself out there, you're in danger. And I think that's what people don't get.
I understand that. I understand. I just, it's like the demanded conversation. And we'll talk. My dad's a Christian singer, evangelist. I was raised in the Pentecostal church. My grandpa, my grandma, my uncle, all these people are Church of God Prophecy. So I was.
That puts everything into context.
Well, I mean, I was raised in this whole world.
Hey, Yvonne.
Hi, Uli. Hey, so for the people who are the first time here, I mean, we know you from your call-ins, but Uli and Christy, do you guys want to introduce yourself, where you're from, or where you're at?
Yeah, we forgot to do that.
Sure, I'd love to. I'll go before Uli.
Okay.
I'm Christy. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I am going to be a grandmother for the first time in August. Yay!
Congrats. Congratulations.
Thank you. I think I'm a progressive. I think just like I was a Democrat by birth, a Republican by marriage, and independent through the divorce, and a progressive for growing up. So
sounds like a children's book.
I think I've gone through all of the different places that I've been, so that I'm older now, and being a progressive is where I want to be. I should I should add that I'm also an African American, and this is how I roll.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Welcome, Christy. Uli, would you like to introduce yourself for people who don't know you?
Yeah,
I guess, in case.
I'm Uli. I'm the Fidel Castro avatar online. Ulrike Christine. Tim's always breaking his tongue over it and cracks me up. So Uli is much easier. So I was born and raised in Germany. Been here a little bit over half my life here. I've been here 27 years. And I have 2 granddaughters. And I think what happens is when you see your grandchildren being born, if you had put your activism aside for a while, raising your children and just living life, when they come, they bring it all back out, because you realize what you have to do in order for them to live and for them to live a good life. So that's where I'm at in my life.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you all.
Great to have you guys.
All right, on with the conversation. I'm sorry I stopped everyone. I'm gonna kind of
No, hey, it's always nice.
Don't leave. Don't leave us.
I'll be on chat.
How's baby Roland?
He's doing good. He's being held by my mom, his grandma. So she's only here until Sunday morning. So she's just gonna try to spend as much time.
Enjoy her
with them. Yeah. All right.
You got us to burn time with. Don't worry about that. Go be with your mom.
All right. Thanks. Keep the conversation going. I'll be listening in.
Okay. All right. Congratulations, Yvonne.
Congratulations.
When introducing,
Good to see you, Yvonne. You take care.
When introducing yourselves, it's always important to let us know if you eat your pizza with a knife and fork, and your hot dogs, do you use ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup.
That's a rough one.
No hot dogs. Nope.
In Chicago, they kill you if you use ketchup.
Yeah, there's something evil about putting ketchup on a hot dog. I gotta agree.
Yeah, that's great.
Once you get past a certain age, you're not allowed to have ketchup on hot dogs anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
Hot dog place there, and suddenly, when you're looking around, these thugs come out from doors and go, "You're not looking for ketchup, are you?"
Check out these packets, huh?
But what's the knife and fork thing about the pizza?
Lou Malnati's pizza is 2 to 2.5 inches thick, and one piece is about as much calories as a normal pizza from like Pizza Hut. It's so thick you basically have to cut it with a knife and fork. So when President Obama went somewhere out in New York to get some pizza, he immediately, before he even got the pizza, pulled out his knife and fork and was getting ready for it.
Oh, but he's from Chicago.
Yeah, but everybody was making fun of him for eating.
Yeah, man. You don't do that East Coast pizza. You eat it. You grab the pizza. You hold it with these two fingers. You put the pizza in you, and you
fold it.
Hinge the middle so that it's sort of folded over, and then you hold it like that, and you eat it from the end. And if it gets on you, it gets on you. That's just the way it is. If you go to an Italian restaurant, either wear a bib or you got to man up when you go to an Italian restaurant.
Unless you're...
Oh, really? I never hold it like that when
That is, of course, unless you're Bill de Blasio.
Oh, God. Well, see?
Or Donald Trump. Apparently, it's kind of a class thing.
Well, actually, it's a save your tie thing. Those guys don't want to eat pizza over their tie like I'd eat over my work, working as a carpenter clothes. Trust me, if the worst thing I got on it was pizza grease in a day, I was doing really good. So.
Yeah, I hear you there.
And they wear expensive shirts.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. They don't believe in bibs or napkins or anything like that?
What are those?
When they're eating lobster. Come on. You can't put it.
Yeah, okay. I'm allergic, so.
To lobster?
Seafood in general.
That sucks.
Oh, but not fish, just crustaceans, anything with a shell.
Right.
Is that good?
I had dinner at the White House yesterday. Now, here, this is out in Iowa. The White House in the town north of us is the restaurant that was made from an old White House. And it's beside the red brick convenience store and the gas station.
Okay.
It's not the place where the president lives. It's the White House, not the Red House. And so we had this meeting in this little teeny rural town. Maybe 6, maybe 7 buildings in the town. That's about it. And we rotate our meeting between the different towns in the county. And they did this fantastic job. Now, normally when you order a piece of fish, a piece of really tiny fish, maybe a half-inch thick, comes out. And this 4-inch thick piece of fish came out. The guy beside me was like, "Oh, that's for a family of 10." So I had a wonderful meal at the White House 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago.
Not fish, just crustaceans.
Who's echoing?
Yeah, could someone mute the YouTube stream? And Steph, can you do a mic check?
A mic check?
Okay, good. We can hear you. All right, sorry. Continue.
I had a question for Ebba, and I didn't want to interrupt anybody, but I got a lot of work to do tonight, but I wanted to I was like, well, I'll just hop in the chat and I have an idea for this sort of chat thing, on a scheduled thing that could help you guys and help Tim Black in the future, but I don't know if it's really appropriate now. I just was like, oh, let me jump in and ask, because I don't know really how you set this up, but obviously you can do it through YouTube. And so I'm curious if there's a time you and I can talk, because I added you on the little Skype thing, like you had said, but it never did anything.
Yeah, that one was through Business for Skype, and it's a different Skype than just a everyday Skype. So this is Ring Central Meeting, and it's just going through OBS. Go ahead and just hit me up on direct message, or just talk in the YouTube chat. I'm just gonna be hanging around there, and it gets hard to moderate a lot of people. So Eric could try to keep up and mute people who are having a lot of feedback. If you think there's feedback, that way we can keep the audio clear. And,
Got it.
But otherwise, good job at trying to get everyone to talk. There's like 16 people on here, so it's gonna be hard to moderate. So
Is there 16 right now?
16
I
squares.
probably should have DM'd you, but I wanted to I don't know. In my head, I was like, oh, I'll explain this cool plan I have, and then I'm like, there's a bunch of people talking, and there's not been a pause for 20 minutes, and I'm also taking phone calls and stuff. So I was just in my head, I was like, I'll just quickly jump in the chat, and then I was like, now it feels really inappropriate because I could have just DM'd you.
Yeah, don't worry about it. If you just hit me up on DM.
Okay.
Or in the chat. All right. Carry on. I'm sorry for the interruptions.
That's okay. You take care.
Bye bye.
Bye, Yvonne.
Bye, Steph.
Drive. Well, I hate that I told you guys this time.
A portable microphone.
Is everything all right?
There's a lot of feedback coming from someone. Someone chewing gum, maybe?
It's Independent Insider, maybe, or Uli. Just mute them, Eric, and just test if it's them or not.
I don't think it's me. I'm just on my phone.
It could be Uli. You might need to mute her, see if she could. If it's her, then you could tell her to fix it.
Yes. Please, Uli, fix your audio. Your mic, or mute your YouTube. And you can unmute yourself afterwards.
All right, one of you guys can start talking about a news topic, guys.
You have something to say, Broken Carpenter?
No, actually, no. I've been muted for a while. I was just making sure I wasn't making noise. Brom hasn't said anything yet.
It comes down to kind of what Sir Chad was talking about earlier. The thing is, though, we have a situation where too many of us still do not understand the ramification of the state that we're currently in, and until more of us are awake to the fact that the fundamental blocks of our democracy are completely broken, we're not going to get anywhere. And
I agree.
Throwing it on to people like Tim Black to push the issue isn't really going to help either, because we're like I said, still at a point where too many of us don't even realize what's going on. Too many people that depend on mainstream news for their information. We still have too many people that are listening to the talking heads,
right,
than getting their news from independent and trusted sources. So until more of us are awake to what's really going on, putting the onus on people like Tim Black isn't going to
Fail
help.
to understand.
The other point I want to make is
Here's
this.
the thing you fail to understand about anarchy.
It really comes down to each and every single one of us taking responsibility for the situation that we're in. All of us need to become active in our local communities, get involved in our local politics, because that's where we can all make a difference.
Right.
If we start challenging the seats in our own communities, we can take back our government one district at a time.
I agree. It's the awareness. That's what you're saying is that we need to make people more aware so we can fight corruption, we can fight the media, we can fight these people. With the more people that know about it, the better we're going to have at blocking whatever they throw at people, basically. Because we know that when they turn that hammer, that it beats down all across the board. I think that's where people misunderstand. We all understand that. That's where I guess my frustration comes in, is like, okay, since we understand that, then what do we need? If we need more awareness, then we have to be, like you just said, the politicians, the local politicians, the people, those are the people that we're supposed to be demanding them talk about certain things. And those things that you're talking about, like the media blackout. You could right now, because you could use, and I say Bernie again because it's just an example, because the people that followed during the primary really understood the underhandedness, even though it wasn't direct. Some people couldn't see it because they were so close to it, but the people that were involved and were watching everything, and they were hearing everybody talk, and it was very organized. That was the difference between Bernie's campaign, is because of the internet, because everybody was everybody was together on social media. It's like they could not paint a narrative about certain things because everybody was all together on this is the approach. This is what we want.
But that's the problem. People weren't together, because if people were together, Hillary wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Hillary.
That's not accurate.
Well, but here's the thing. The reason why we have Hillary is there was a moment when Bernie Sanders is at the DNC. Everybody knew what was going on. There was a bunch of stuff with the delegates that day or that week, whatever. And then they whited out the one section. They put people in this. There was a moment where Bernie, he knew that he was cheated. So he knew he chose to say, okay, I'm going to play politics and endorse Hillary Clinton in order to, that was his strategy. However you want to look at it, that's what he chose to do. What I'm saying is that the type of leader, the type of perspective, type of approach that we need to build up as people, that we need to demand from our media. And that's my issue, is if that's what we're demanding, then we have to demand them to speak those things.
So he should have thrown away his 30-year-old career and then had to look over his shoulder his whole life.
But how would he throw away his that would have been the pinnacle, because we can go around the media because of the internet. And if you had people don't have something to jump on, is because people don't have a leader that's going to stand up publicly and defy.
I'm just saying, Bernie would have been ostracized.
I agree, but he had rights.
If he would have do that with his wife, he lost. How could anybody in that situation feel good about it, and happy to the person, or have to support the person? But the reason and the logic of the day, 99% of the media outlets, every voice that you're going to hear is going to say, well, Russia did it and Trump is so much worse. Trump is this giant monster.
I got a question.
Trump is just so downright abominable. So it's like
he's given in.
Do you remember when he changed? If we want to get into it, do you remember when Bernie changed his tune? It was after he met with Obama. That was exactly the moment.
That is exactly when
I got a question. When y'all, all right. So for Chad, if not Bernie, who? And if not anybody, how are we gonna, if you're to the point where you're like, fuck it. You know, you have to have enough people who are willing to have stateless societies and volunteer for that. And right now, at least not here, you don't have that. But if not Bernie, and you have to have a leader right now, who? Tulsi? I mean, in all honesty, Tulsi is one person, but
here's the way I look at that. Is the point is we're the people, so we're the ones who are supposed to. We're the ones who are supposed to pick who we want leader, and that's the important thing. And the only reason why I'm hard because of the Bernie Sanders is again.
No. I'm not saying that. But if you're saying not Bernie, then I'm just asking you who would you pick? Who would you nominate?
I'll Cornel West.
Okay.
I
go for that.
I feel like Cornel West.
I go for that.
I feel Cornel West. He understands faith, so he can get the people of faith. But he could still hold his own when calling people out for their corruption. You know, or calling. You know,
right.
He's got a demeanor. I mean, he's obviously, you know, he's.
No, I got you. But I know where you're coming from now. I know where you're
coming from, but I don't feel like it's going anywhere.
He's a little too far out there for, you know, I don't think that enough people would vote for him.
No,
but I'm with
we
you.
need to talk about things.
It's public opinion.
Party, maybe like this guy's saying about like what? Then who do you turn to and talk about that rather than just going
right.
Or just keep.
That's the point is that we're supposed to demand the conversation. So the people are supposed to give attention and demand the conversation from certain people. And that my strategy would be, okay, well, we demand something for Bernie Sanders to say. If you don't say it, okay, well then he's out. If Nina Turner doesn't want to talk about it, we want the thing about the
you said that you're macro, and I get that. I think that sometimes I associate macro with being meta, and I think you're being meta about it. If you want to put pressure, but don't get meta and talk about putting pressure, because I don't know how you're going to do this anywhere, because I don't think that it's something that we can get on the same page with you exactly about. I think we can appreciate your point, note it, say how we feel, and then
say that again. Explain that to me. Where I'm going too specific when I'm trying to talk macro, or talk to.
No, I just said that you're talking about you're being sort of meta about the way that people you're claiming that people should you keep saying people should put pressure. Demand, the people need to. And earlier you were saying a lot about a leader, and the people need to put pressure on for this and this, and have a certain meme or whatever. But I don't know. I just say go on your whatever you want to, however you want to get your voice out there and do it. Say the pressure that you would like to put, and that's your 2 cents. But don't like just try to get everyone mad at Tim, or like.
I'm not trying. I wasn't trying to get people mad at Tim.
This isn't really fair on Tim, and Tim has been unfair, and all these things. It's not going to happen.
I don't feel like if you guys don't agree with me on how I feel about my perspective,
yes or no, it's not a dichotomy. It doesn't have to be. We can't. It just doesn't have to be with us or not. Maybe we can just
right.
But here's the thing: is the way that Bernie Sanders. It's the same principle. The way that Bernie Sanders slapped Hillary Clinton on the wrist is the same way Hillary Clinton and Obama slapped Wall Street on the wrist. It's the same way. And my point is that people within the same culture. Wall Street and the way that Bernie did.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like because they're so close to it, is they have to play within those in those bounds because they know those people personally. So it's like they're trying to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and I understand that. Is I'm only saying is that. And when regards to Tim Black, it's not at all. I look at Tim Black I look at him as a leader. I look at him as kind of the centerpiece of like the little crew progressive thing. I do, because I feel like he's very strong. He's very strong in that manner. And so when I critique and when I get pissed was because of it was the rhetoric that they were, but him and actual Nico House was using in a couple different videos. It was the way that they were.
Blame Tim for what Nico said, man.
No. But it was all together. Nico was saying it, and then Tim brought it in, and then Tim was talking about what Nico said, talking about the same issue. And one of
I don't even think I caught it, but I think that your frustration is that he didn't talk about the DNC leaks or the DNC lawsuit enough, and it's been a major theme on his shows. So
no, it wasn't about Tim talking about. No, seriously.
Oh my God.
Tim talks all the. I know I'm. Well,
yeah. Please, Stevie.
Okay, so I totally get where you're coming from because, like, I felt the same way when all this election stuff was happening. You know, it was like, you know, he didn't say anything. I was like, well, right then would have been the time to say it, you know. And I get the whole, you know, sour grapes argument, but, you know, the people that followed Bernie didn't follow him because, you know, we wanted somebody that would, you know, play nice. We wanted a revolution.
You can't be worried.
So we wanted somebody with integrity that would speak the truth. And so when he went silent, it felt like, for me at least, like he just, like he just gave up on us, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
yes.
I also see, I kind of see it as like the live to fight another day kind of thing, you know? Like, we might have to retreat a little bit, but he's going to come back. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't know. I'm not going to wait around.
But can we trust him? Can we trust him to be in that moment, when the moment of reckoning, he had, if ever there was a point in time where he had the evidence right there to show that the whole establishment cheated, he had the mic in front of the whole world, and what he said he was going to do, he didn't do. And that's what I'm saying, like, how could you actually believe if in that moment?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get that, and that's what I'm saying, like, you know, he had that chance right then, and I think maybe it was fear of Trump or whatever it was. I don't know.
Right.
All I know is that I'm not going to wait around for somebody to speak about this or to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to, if he's not going to do it, let's go somewhere else. You know, we'll find a
Right.
we'll come together. And if by doing that, if Bernie doesn't join us, then we move on without him.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
I love the guy. He's done so much for West Virginia, but you know, I can't.
From the beginning, it's not about him. It's about us. It's the ball's in our court. It's the onus is on us.
Right.
We don't have.
Hey, man.
The thing people are missing is we don't have the luxury of leaders right now because we are too fractured as it is. Our main job at this point should be to unite on the policies that matter the most and get our voting system fixed. That's what we need to focus on. Everything else doesn't make any difference right now because until those things are in place, we're screwed anyway.
But how do we?
That's been our problem this whole time is we've been looking to.
And that's why it comes down to us getting involved locally and starting to take these districts back one at a time.
But what I'm saying is a populist, as somebody that's people want to get behind somebody.
All right. Let's move on from this conversation. This can go for anything goes. And let's talk about current events. Everyone's own opinions. I mean, and especially when we have a lot of people that are in this panel right now, just try to make short, quick points and give everyone some time. Thanks.
Can I get 2
That's
seconds?
like a big thing that like you have to kind of think about for a little bit before really reacting to what people are saying because it's just kind of a lot to take in. It's a serious thing, you know. It's their fucking future, man. You know.
Well, people are yeah.
Oh, Chad.
Look, I was pissed off too. I live on Long Island, and I saw it happen in real time. I saw the Brooklyn fraud and all that, and I was upset too. But now is now, and the DNC fraud loss. It isn't going to pay my health insurance. It isn't going to pay my doctor's bills. So I understand where you're coming from. I really do, and we do need election reform, absolutely. But at the same time, we need to, we can't be completely distracted and completely focus on that. That's it. Have a wonderful day.
This is so great about America. We got tons of people. We got people doing the election fraud. We got people fighting the DNC. We got people for everything. You know,
we got
There's no
Stevie
reason why
with
we
the
can't.
water. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
everything.
we got this shit.
You know, to Chad's point though, and I've been kind of speaking about this in the group chat, text chat, but I guess I can bring it up to everybody currently. What is that feedback? I'll just deal with it.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I know.
Second speaker.
Here's the thing, but I understand where Chad's frustration is coming from, and to some degree, I share it as well. I don't get as outwardly pissed about it, but I do share a lot of that frustration. What I think is more the useful way of channeling this is because oftentimes we often talk about trying to find leaders. I'm trying to make a point, Bram. What I'm trying to say is that I do not believe that, I've made this point before, that we shouldn't necessarily just be solely looking at our leadership in order to do this. What I think is most important is to create situations and to develop tactics which are subversive enough to force the leadership into a position where it's forced to face severe consequences both domestically and internationally. Because let's not forget this. America is an empire. Regardless of whatever its populace may think of itself as, it is an empire, and it has a wide sphere of influence. And because of this, we've made a lot of fucking enemies and a lot of friends who are really only our friends because we happen to have the biggest stick and they don't want to be on the receiving end of it. And if we force the leadership into a position that they have to resort to brutality in order to put us down, there's going to be international consequences for it. Because once the international community sees that America is in such turmoil that it can't even meet its own citizens' needs without the use of force, then there are going to be international consequences. And what we need to do is place them in that bind that even if the world can't necessarily take on America individually, we can still create a situation which creates enough international turmoil that it forces them to address the needs of its citizenry, unless they want to lose face.
Right. What you were the whole.
I don't really think that's my view. I think that the way you phrase some of that stuff's kind of problematic a little bit.
What you were saying is that
act in a position and but I don't think it's realistic. So I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I think we're a really small minority of the constituency. I mean, of our voting block. We're 1%. We got like Jill Stein got 1%.
But see, that's the media. We can go around the mainstream media when we want to, for the fact of because social media is that powerful. But we haven't learned how to use it as a unit yet. And what he was saying about having some sort of strategy or structure, there's a lot of different factions, a lot of different issues that need to be addressed, and having people that are taking those individual issues head on are the people that in those individual issues that we have to give power to and we have to illuminate. And that's the thing with the internet is because with Tim Black's got 100,000 viewers. H.A. Goodman's like one click away from WikiLeaks. As far as influence, if there was a real organized, okay, this is who we're going to go after this week. We're going to do a dossier on this person and put together organized informational thing and push it out on all these different platforms on the same day, the same time for a week on the same person, using the same hashtags, using the same thing, and make it and push culture to do that. We could do that, but in order to organize that, that's what I'm saying, is there has to be some sort of umbrella where people feel comfortable, regardless of whatever you identify with, that you feel comfortable saying, okay, well, this person is, or this umbrella is adequately, I feel that it represents me. That makes sense. That's just where
What
I
it comes
keep
down to is
focused.
salient points and common sense. And if you don't have that, what does it matter? I don't know what you're going to try to push out all over the place. A bunch of like something that comes from misunderstandings and ignorance. I mean, that if you push out something like that, it'll never go anywhere. So you have to
We talk about misunderstandings.
council, a round table, people who are veteran people, experienced people, not all like even Loyolas feel like just a bunch of pitchforks or something.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not.
Okay, guys, look. Last time. Let's move on to current events and talking about that. None of this other talk to let other people speak. This is last time. Otherwise, I'm kicking some people out.
Good.
All right, I got some current events
Good.
for you.
Oh boy.
So, I was watching the legislature here, and I just watched a politician argue that they should privatize the nursing homes. Some of these hospitals, they call it a hospital, but it's a nursing home, and because it's for the good of the patient, but they're going to shut down the hospital and move those patients away to wherever. They didn't even tell where they were going to move them to in the bill. They just said that the people that were buying it, the private owners, may or may not keep the employees. They may or may not do all this stuff. And you got to factor in that these people are poor, and they can't, these are their family members that are going to be moving to another county or, wherever, and they're going to have to drive this. This is insane. And they said that it's going to be better because it's going to be privatized. And they passed that bill. Now, I think it's got to go through the other one, but, I just feel so bad for these old people in these homes, man. It doesn't look good for them.
What scares me with that is that we had a situation on Long Island, actually in my town, where they actually shut down a home like that, and then they started complaining about the homelessness. Well, you just kicked people out of the place where they were living. So who knows where these people are going to go if these hospitals start shutting down.
Yeah,
and then they're going to have
Yeah, and this is not just one. I sat through. I watched two of them. They two different bills, two different hospitals, and these are the jobs. And I mean, plus like, what are these people going to do? And this guy, and it's the same guy that voted for the Cancer Creek bill that puts all these cancer-causing and non-cancer-causing toxins in our water. I mean, this guy.
Which rep was it? Which
Erik
rep was
Nelson.
it? Okay.
Yeah. I'm just like, how much money does it take for you to like give up your humanity? And it probably isn't even that much. I wouldn't even say in the millions.
No.
I'd say just a few thousand for him.
Right.
It doesn't take much here.
See, and this goes back to my point. This is why we need to get involved in our local politics, because we can start challenging these people. If we can make issues like this part of a platform that directly address the issues in our community, we can build a consensus that will put us in office. You see what I'm saying? These are the kinds of issues that people can rally around and build a strong platform.
Well, that's how we found Paula Jean Swearingen, because that's what she's been doing all this time. She's been fighting to protect the waters. She's been fighting to end mountaintop removal, fighting for the miners, speaking out about their health issues and what it's doing to the community and our kids. And because of that, now she's challenging Joe Manchin. So, through, getting involved, we will find our leaders. I totally agree.
I looked online and I saw Jim Jeffers, or whatever his name is, the governor of West Virginia, that company. Oh my God, The company that is what his wife owns or whatever. Who is it? I can't even remember the name of the company. It's like a rubber company or the chemical company.
Jim Jeffers?
I mean, not Jim Jeffers. What's the name of the West Virginia governor?
Oh, Jim Justice.
Thank you. I'm the name killer. You know that, right? I just like slam. I give the wrong names. I got the wrong Goodman on a YouTube chat. I slammed AJ because I mistook him for the dude who was who was working on the Seth Rich thing. It's like I need to check my name facts. But yeah, the Jim Justice, that company. Oh my God, that's crazy. Hey, did you guys know that Holly Seeliger is actually running for governor?
That's really cool.
Yeah, I heard about that. She's gonna be awesome.
I think that's probably why they're slamming her so hard now. I didn't even know.
It makes me want to move there so I can support her. She's really good. Honestly, very optimistic. I honestly, she should be on 10 Black. I would love to see. I would love to see her on 10. I would love to see her on 10 Black. I really would.
The issue that I have sometimes is when people move back and forth from reporting the news and actually getting involved in the news. And she's not big enough really to worry about it. She actually announced that she was going to run for governor like right around when she started her channel. And, who knows? I mean, she probably only had, a handful of people at that time. I joined her channel pretty early and she didn't have that many people. So, and now she's actually becoming pretty popular. But, that's the problem I had with Justice Democrats. And that's what I had, I was like, Nina's getting into, doing her own channel and stuff. I don't know. I feel I get kind of squeamish about potential, conflicts of interest. But I like Holly a lot, and she's very chatty. She's willing to share resources. She's great. I hope it's 2018. She's gonna run against that crazy governor whose name I can't remember right this second. I'm not gonna even try. The guy who threatened a dude on the answering machine or whatever. You guys remember that?
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah. I'm not going to even try to guess. Yeah, I can't believe that the Maine governor, didn't get impeached, in all honesty.
I don't know how half these politicians aren't tied up in court. Well, I guess because if you take one of them down, the rest of them go too. But
yeah, it's like it's like Hydra. Yeah. And how unguided, and Stevie, I don't know if you saw my my YouTube video on my channel, but how Elizabeth Warren, I know she follows power. That was my argument, but how in God's green earth she can see, she can defend Manchin is beyond me and call herself a progressive. I mean, I'm,
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all because you're like, I'm okay. I'm totally okay with this man poisoning people and
right.
hurting, making sure they don't have jobs. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with all this stuff. It's okay if it happens in that state, as long as it doesn't happen in my backyard. And that's the same
right.
thing that Michael Schur was saying. It's just like, well, I want the majority in Congress. I want this. I want that. It's like, yeah, it's all about you. But guess what? If you don't fight people like Joe Manchin, it's going to come back and bite all of us because people like Joe Manchin, he's poisoning the people in the surrounding states. He's fucking up stuff, with who he's voting for. I mean, this man is like screwing everybody, but they still kind of see him as like this, like, oh well, it's just West Virginia. It's not.
And he's blatantly saying, go ahead and primary me. I mean, I give Paula Jean all the props in the world for stepping up.
Oh my God, I love that in that video. She's like, and Shelley Moore Capito and Jim Justice, you're next.
Right. I have a question. Is it possible for? I mean, I would love this. Is it possible that Jill Stein would possibly run against Elizabeth Warren? Are they in the same state?
I would hope she would.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Jill Stein is from Massachusetts, so it's not impossible, but it's whether or not the people would let her on to begin with.
Right. I don't know enough about Josh Ford yet. I know Josh Ford is running, and I've actually had some conversations with him, and he talks a good game. And I know Stevie's been on, probably seen those conversations too about wind power and solar power. I don't know yet. I'm feeling him out. I might support him later, but he just started, so we'll see. He's all about, oh, well, I'm third party, so I must be good. It's not necessarily true either. I have to see as time goes on.
But it's promising, at least.
I haven't gotten
Yeah, he is promising.
research him too much.
I'm trying. The problem with some of the independent guys is they don't have that much of a history. So
I mean, we
It
should.
does make it a lot harder.
Yeah.
Too eager to go
I mean,
straight
we
to
should
the
try.
vote.
You know what? Let's invite them on. Some kind of panel or something. Get so many people
Yeah,
on there.
after hours panel.
I second that idea.
I wouldn't mind it. Yeah.
In the meantime,
He'd be up for it, I would think.
That would be awesome.
I don't see mainstream media going to give them any time.
hey,
I know
and-
he was on Tim Black.
I really want to unseat Diane Black. I don't know if you know who she is.
No, who's that?
Diane Black, she's one of the districts in Tennessee. She's Republican. Just one of the snottiest women. Yeah. She represents like a big area just outside of Nashville, a lot of the country area.
It reminds me
Diane Black?
Yeah. District 6, I believe. Tennessee.
Oh, and speaking of that, I found that going back to snotty women and Republican, I found that, I don't know if you guys know, but Elizabeth Warren was once a Republican. She switched to Democrat sometime in the late 80s, which would make sense because, Reagan and the deregulation, but didn't know if you guys knew that. I just found that out.
Yeah. She doesn't talk. We need to hear her talk either.
Yeah, I mean, give her some time. I mean, it did just happen in the 80s, so she might talk about it about 2030.
Right.
True.
Yeah, she did a quick interview on it. Like, yeah, that was back then, and now it's now. It's like,
well, she's like one of those, day late and a dollar short.
Right.
Well, maybe her principles were aligned with the other party as it shifted. I don't see what's wrong with her changing her mind. That means she's evolved and she grows. At least
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm with you on that.
No, not really. But the only thing is, she didn't say anything about it, and she tried to keep it secret, which is weird. It's like, that's fine that people change their minds, and it, again, I don't think it really, given her history, I don't really think she even changed her mind that much. It was just, it would make sense that she would switch when she did because of, who was president at that time, which was Reagan. And now, now she's doing what she's doing, but she's, the only progressive thing that I see her, in is the financial sector. Everything else is kind of murky to me. So, to me, she's not a champion of the progressive cause, and she kind of blows with where the wind takes her and where the power is.
Well, okay, I definitely get that, but
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Have a great
night.
evening or morning. Happy
night.
morning.
Hello.
Hello. It's Christy. I'm over here with. Oh wow, I got the mic. What I was thinking about Elizabeth Warren was she's evolved, and I earlier told you guys my evolution. So I'm kind of
right.
I don't agree with everything she does, but she did. She's one of the founders or sponsors. I don't know how it works of the Consumer Protection
Consumer Fund. Yeah, absolutely, and I completely back that. Yep.
And if I'm not wrong, I believe that Trump is actively trying to destroy that, or at least the Republican Party is.
I thought he already did, to be honest with you. But the last time I checked, it was still around. And when Jink interviewed her, he was talking like it was still around. So I had actually thought it was already torn down. But
it is still around. Here's the interesting thing. This is why I think Trump is going to run into some issues. The financial industry actually discovered that the policies put forth by that agency improved their business.
Right.
It improved business. They're not going to want to back away from those because it's going to lose them customers.
Well, that goes to the same thing where Issa from California, and Trump's girding his loins too. I work for the Postal Service. They've been fighting to get 5-day delivery for forever, and the reason that they haven't been able to do it
for a while too. Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Hey. So the reason that they're not doing it is because the businesses are fighting against it. They have ever since I've been, since I was like 98, I started. So like almost 20 years, they've been pushing for that. And because of the small business and the business pushback, it may eventually happen, but it hasn't yet because of business pushback.
I thought that Bernie had a pretty good idea about the Postal Service, and that was that the Postal Service should act like a small bank, as far as like cashing checks, doing the things that poor people pay money to have done. Have the post office do this. The post office is in the Constitution. Of all these things we talk about, the constitutionality and stuff, post office is actually in the Constitution.
Yeah.
And the Republicans hate it, and they really hate the union. And what they've done to the postal workers union is heinous. They've made them, and usually the way the pension system works is you pay like blocks of money in to an annuity fund kind of thing, but on a large scale. What happens to the Postal Service is they wanted them to keep like 80 years worth of pensions all at one time.
Right.
And
well, it was 70 years within a 10-year period, and that was Bush, and that popped like, what was it, 2-3 years ago, from what I remember. But yeah, it was 70 years in a 10-year period, which is insane. And also the surplus that we get, it's not a surplus. We're considered a government agency and not a government agency when it's appropriate. And ironically enough, I was talking to Margaret Flowers of the Green Party. I was texting her back and forth, private messaging her about this just today, and she was like, you realize that you guys aren't really going out of business. I'm like, yeah, I do, because I've been a rep for 10 years, and I've been fighting this fight for a long time. And thank you, Broken, for knowing this stuff, because a lot of people don't realize it.
I marched with the postal workers. Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Oh,
What,
hey.
in 1972 during the strike?
No, but in what? I know I marched with them in 06. 06,
Oh,
11.
Okay. Oh, okay.
11.
Yeah, I know what.
And I know I marched with them in 99 at the WTO.
Right.
Trust me, there was contingent to every union. I mean, the firehouses were open, all the fire trucks were running off their whistles for us and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
No.
Right.
I mean, everybody should be with the Postal Service with their union, because it's one of the last really good unions, that takes care of their workers.
And what the Postal Service has allowed Amazon to do to them it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
Tell me more about that. I run an eBay business from my home, and so I use the Postal Service every single day. I know the people at my post office. They know me by first name, and I see how hard they work in there. And a lot of people that aren't in there all the time get really impatient with them, and sometimes they act like, oh, they're not doing enough. But I know how hard they work. And I would also say that I've noticed that postal charges, it have increased. The shipping charges have gone up about 3 times in the last year and a half. It's pretty extreme. And I mean, I get my customers will complain, be like, why is the shipping so high? I'm like, I can't control it, but it just keeps going up. And eBay does broker a deal with the post office to make it a little bit cheaper for their top sellers, but it's still, I get a discount, but I'm wondering what you're saying. I don't know about the way Amazon, what they've done with the post office or to the post office. I'd really love to hear more about that.
Well, what they did.
Hold on, Brian. Just want to say one thing before you answer. Ariel, just one quick recommendation, because I run a similar thing. I would recommend you maybe try Instagram. That way there are no fees involved in dealing with a person directly.
I have a friend actually who she makes her own yarn. She does wool. She's a weaver, and she actually makes her own yarn, and she puts it on Etsy. And she told me that her sales really started to go through the roof when she hit Instagram. I don't know. It might depend on the kind of product you're selling, but for her it worked really well.
I was gonna say Gary Vaynerchuk. I talked about him. He's the media guy. But your Instagrams, your Snapchat, all these different vehicles. I mean, you put out the information in that format, and it's a huge route to direct to consumer. And I think that it's culture to be able to shift to where we find those direct routes to people and go around a lot of the bureaucracy in a lot of ways, even when it comes to certain I don't know if that.
I'm sorry, what were you saying you were selling again, Ariel?
Oh gosh, I sell everything. I mean, clothing, candles, makeup, collectible items. I even sell my own CDs and my artwork on there. And I thought about selling on Amazon years ago, but they take so much money off of your music if you sell through them. So I sell through CD Baby. I go through iTunes. And it's still like a lot of those outlets, it's like you'll sell a song and you'll get like 5 cents. So it's a little bit crazy. Like if I get a check showing, itemized what I made on a CD, it's weird. It really depends on if it's, intellectual property rights like that, or if it's actual physical goods. But on eBay, it's mostly physical goods. You could actually look at my store. It's the same as my name on YouTube. It's Ariel Rose Music on eBay. And you can go see all the girly stuff I sell. It's mostly women's stuff.
Can you send me your friend's name? I crochet. I'd like to check her yarn out.
Oh yeah, she's Joyce Hethcox, and she's I think it's the Flying Tea Kettle. We'll connect. I'll get you her info. She's a really, really sweet, wonderful lady. she's also one of my astrology clients, and I just love her. She's a wonderful gal.
By the way, I thought I'd mention because I heard Amazon. Did you guys hear that Amazon's buying Whole Foods?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Uh,
Now, Whole Foods, they do use free prison labor on some of their products. They're, it's funny. A couple of years ago, me and my guy, we went out to it was Arizona, and we went to one of the very first Whole Foods out there, and it was so different. It felt like the old-timey 70s health food store. It's even smelled like that. And that apparently it was like one of the first Whole Foods, and you could kind of tell that that's where it came from. It was like that more holistic time of, the era where people were really interested in eating better and maybe going vegetarian and macrobiotic and all that. And it's not the same. It's become all corporate and slick. It's so far removed from what it was, and it's such a shame. Because I kind of had
what was that thing they did? It was like a piece of asparagus and a bottle of water or something. It was just like they weren't even trying anymore. It was like $6 or something for that.
I call it a whole paycheck. That's your whole paycheck to shop it. Oh yeah, I mean, literally, you can go get the same orange juice from them and pay like $1 or $2 more than you will at a Kroger. They mark it up just because that's what it is.
They're capitalizing off of They're capitalized off. They're just capitalizing off of people being healthy because it's capitalizing off of it.
It's terrible.
In a terrible way.
Taking advantage of people who are trying to kind of do the right thing and say, well, I'm going to eat better, and you can find organics and things in a Kroger or a Publix or in any. Whole Foods has become just as corporate as the rest of them. I just do the best I can between, like, I've got the Whole Foods, the Kroger, the Trader Joe's, Publix. They're all around. You just do your best you can.
I shop at Aldi's
Whole Foods
here.
is kind of cool. Sometimes they'll like.
We have Aldi's too.
Free samples and stuff, like, kind of liberally, and like my friend worked there, and they like the employees get like 15% or something off of everything, like including like alcohol, wine, or something. I don't know. But the other thing was kind of cool. He was talking about like that there are like 6 stages of organic chicken, and so like the Whole Foods, they have so some of the stuff that's really expensive, it's kind of you get what you pay for. And I mean, like on one hand, they are supporting more and more like higher ethical, more and more like having more ethics type of farmers and stuff like that practices. And in general, when you buy organic, then you contribute to that market. And it is going down generally, like the prices for organic stuff, because there are more people using it. And I guess their philosophy was, I don't know what it'll be after Amazon takes over, but I guess it was just recently just kind of go after, just price it whatever you want. And there's always going to be people that are buying it, because there are going to be some people, there's a part of the market that doesn't care about, like, money is no object, and like they're just going to go buy what they want. And so
in my area in Sandy Springs, there's a lot of these very rich. I always say they got more money than they have sense, and they'll just spend whatever, call it an organic Oreo, and they'll freaking buy it. It's like, it's still an Oreo. Just because it's organic doesn't make it good for you, but that's kind of the way it works.
Organic Oreo.
If you want to eat anything near organic and on a budget, you got to go to a farmer's market. It's
exactly.
And then you're not going to necessarily get organic, but at least it's farm to consumer kind of thing, and it's usually a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah.
Farmers markets, a lot of them take food stamps. They're great places to go on a budget. They really are. And you can buy. And in Washington State, you can buy seeds in the springtime. You can buy seeds and seedlings and stuff with your food stamps. We did that. I mean, when we were,
really?
When I first got hurt, you go from reliable paycheck to nothing in a split second, because I was hurt and couldn't work. And I didn't get hurt at work. I don't know where I got hurt. Right. So, it threw me into, so it didn't take long for me to hit bottom, and then it took 2 years to fight through the Social Security system. And during that time, you got to live. And so, I mean, I went through every kind of insurance known to man. I went through Cobra. I went from my normal carpenter insurance, which was great, to Cobra, to the Washington State Aid before it was something. I can't remember what it was, but it was the Washington State Medicare was really great, and so we had that, and then or Medicaid, that's it, and then I ended up on Social Security, and my pension kicked in, so my wife could get insurance, but still we got to pay it's basically everything I make off of, like, I can't remember, one of like my all of my Social Security goes towards paying for her insurance or something, basically, so
just quick, it seems like we're liking to segue a lot tonight. Do we want to just go and switch to anything goes?
Sure.
Yes, I changed my hat. I thought you said anything goes. I ducked forward. I got my bandana off, changed my hat for anything goes.
Okay. So people who are on chat, just stay where you are. Everyone who's on Ring Central, just stay where you are. Basically, I'm just stopping the stream and restarting it with the different layout, whatever it is. All it is different title. All right, so give me a second, and I'll...
Thank you, Ebon.
Yep.
Thank you again, Ebon. Greatly appreciate it.